All right. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the final course of our series. At this point, I hope you have learned seven new things at the bare minimum because we've had seven workshops with you so far. And after today, I hope you have at least eight. Of course, I hope it's a lot more than just seven or eight, but my goal is to teach you at least one new thing every time that I teach you. So today, we are going to be talking about job retention and what that is. So let's kind of start off from the premise of you just got a new job. That's awesome, great news. You're very excited. You're going to be getting paid. You're going to be earning some money. Everything sounds amazing, right? But the other part of getting a job is keeping a job, and that's where job retention comes into play. Let's talk about that. First, also normal classroom expectations, which for you guys, as you're just watching this video, you're not to worry about these, so you can kind of look them over and take it from there. Let's go more into the learning objectives. First of all, we hope that you will know what job retention means, give you some strategies for keeping your job, learn and explore traits such as dependability, reliability, multi-skill, trustworthy, maturity, proactive, and what that means, and also to learn and explore some ways that you can thrive in your new job and retain it and to keep it. So, what are employability skills? Employability skills are character traits and interpersonal skills that characterize a person's relationships with people, also known as soft skills. So here's a little bit of a word cloud with soft skills: communicator, problem solver, team player, credible, trustworthy, motivator. Just a few words that kind of go along with soft skills. What is retention? Where retention is defined as the continued possession, use, or control of something, right? So, what does that mean? What does job retention mean? That just means keeping your job, right? So, you got a job. How do you keep a job? How do you maintain employment? It's very important for you as you move on. So, let's talk about some skills that you need to do that you need to have. First, you do need to be flexible. Employers needs can change often. And if you are willing to do the work that your employer needs you to do, you're going to be very well liked and a lot happier too. Next is being reliable. Uh, do what you say you're going to do. This means getting to work on time and doing the job that you said you would do. Go to work every day. No employer is going to put up with someone who shows up to work when they feel like it and only works to the extent that they want to do, right? If you do fall very sick and you are truly sick, just be sure to call your boss as soon as possible and keep them in the loop. Being cooperative with others. So you have to be able to work well with others. Be a good team player. This also means with coworkers as well as with your supervisors. You need to be able to work on your own. So once you've been trained and you've learned what your job entails, learn to start doing your job without needing to have someone to tell you what to do next. If you finish all your work and you have nothing else to do, at that point you can go and ask your supervisor where else you can be of assistance. You want to keep a good attitude, of course. Accept your share of work without complaining or slowing down. If someone tells you that you could be doing your job better, try to learn from where they're coming from. Maybe they knew something that you don't, right? Smile and a friendly attitude is going to do great things for you, especially for those who are working the nearest or closest with you. Being honest. So this means lots of things. It means being ethical and being straightforward. It does simply mean don't steal. It means do not steal company materials, but also means don't steal time from the employer. Right? Someone who comes in late, leaves early, or works too slowly on purpose. This person is a time stealer. They are a time thief because they're getting paid for work that's not done. Don't be that person. Work while you're at the job, right? Too much talk or too much goofing off on the job is going to get you in trouble. Taking personal phone calls, those things should only happen when you are either it's absolutely necessary or when you're on breaks. Also, you want to try to do your best to leave any sort of personal problems at home. Following work rules. So following work rules concerning hours, safety, dress code, and other rules that the job has laid out is very important. Failure to do this is going to cost you your job. They will fire you for not following their rules. And then follow the company customs. So there are kind of unspoken rules that may not be written in the handbook, but everyone follows them anyway. It could be just dressing a certain way. It could be coming in at a certain time or coming in 15 minutes early every day. Um, Failure to not follow these company customs, these unwritten rules, are pretty indicative that maybe you just don't fit in with the culture of the company, which could be a sign that you may not last very long. So, if you really do love the work and you love the job, find a way to fit into, the culture, right? So let's talk about some 7 strategies for keeping your job. First off, show up and be present with all the distractions of life, family, children, parents, school, and whatever. We can all kind of get overloaded and we can lose focus on the job at hand, especially when trying to get through a day. So it's important for you to find your own personal outlet, whether that be yoga, meditation. For some people, it's listening to music. Some people, it's going for a walk. Whatever it is that allows you to do that. Find that balance so that you can show up and be present when it's time to do work. Get clear on your employer's expectations. So it's always important to go into a new job, or if you take on new job responsibilities, with a very clear understanding of what the employer is going to expect of you. And this can be accomplished through scheduling a one-on-one meeting with your immediate supervisor and let him or her know how you see your job lining up with how they want to see it accomplished, so you guys can get on the same page. Don't be afraid to show some initiative. Once expectations are clear and goals are set and understood, it would probably help you to start thinking about how you can exceed both of those things. Think about what the basics are for accomplishing your job task, your projects, your responsibilities, and keep an ear open to what's being said around you, and keep a keen eye about what's been done so far, that maybe hasn't been addressed. Maybe there's an issue or problem that you can look to fix that someone hasn't done already. Additionally, when you volunteer for projects that have been targeted, you can help resolve these problems. And this is another great way to show that you have some initiative. All right, that's first 3. Here comes number 4. You want to keep out what they call the water cooler or the break room conversations, right? Hanging out in the water cooler is only going to create or stir up troubles that you were not looking for or that you want to attract yourself. Remember that you are at work to do a job and that you are being paid to do that, right? So staying focused is going to help you get a lot further, and especially going to help you get a lot more done, right? And in the end, it will get you recognized as well. Meeting deadlines and doing your job well. So employer is always going to, at least they should always appreciate a employee who meets the deadline and demonstrates a genuine attitude towards doing a job well. It's also a good idea to keep your own personal records of all your efforts and accomplishments, because at some point you're going to want to have a reference of it, especially during performance appraisal times. If you can, search out a mentor. A mentor is someone who is willing to provide insight on how to best navigate the waters inside of a company, right? As well as this person is someone that you can share your ideas with in order to get the right perspective or get an idea of what kind of path that you should be following. And last but not least of the 7, listen and learn more. As the saying goes, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. So it's your benefit to listen twice as much as you speak. It's also important to be very mindful to who and what you're listening to. So do a gut check and see if it lines up with what you know, understand, and want to learn in order to help you flourish at your job. Cool. Moving on. This is a little thing, keeping your job checklist. Do not use drugs or alcohol, especially when you should be working. I know it sounds silly, but it happens. So just keep this in mind. Consider this a fair warning. Get along with your supervisor and your coworkers. Always ask questions if you're not sure. Be honest, right? Anything ever happens about safety or theft or what you did or didn't do, maybe you didn't know how to do something, just always be honest with your supervisor and your coworkers. Always maintain a professional level, right? You want to separate your personal and your professional lives from one another. Ask if you aren't sure what to do or how to do it. All right. Always communicate with your supervisor. The more you ask, and the more you retain. So if you ask and you need to write it down, write it down. But always be prepared to ask for more information. So next, we're going to talk about how to solve some problems that you may come up with. Right. You always want to have some sort of backup plan, or maybe some additional support, or some way to solve problems that may pop up in the future. Okay. So let's talk about this. All right. So let's identify some work-related or problem or issues that might pop up. First off, and by the way, and you can always offer to answer these questions on your own outside of this course, but I'm going to give you some real quick answers to each of these scenarios. Number one, no car. How am I going to get to work? Well, have some sort of alternative plan. Do you have to walk? Do you have to ride a bike? Do you need to get a ride? Do you got to jump on public transportation? Do you need to borrow a car? Do you need to do some sort of ride share like Uber or Lyft? Make some sort of alternative plans. Have that in place just in case. Let's say you have an infant child and they're sick and you don't have any daycare. Hopefully, this is only a every now and then occurrence. It doesn't happen every single week, but you want to make sure that you call to your employer and let them know as soon as possible that you're going to have to take the day off to take your child to the doctor. Okay. Again, it happens, but please, if it happens every single week, you're going to get yourself in trouble. Okay. You want time off to go to your cousin's wedding. Perfect. Family first. Totally get it. You need to do this with plenty of heads up to your supervisor or your boss. Okay. Don't do it the week of when you've already been on the schedule for 2 weeks. Don't do it the morning of when you're expected to be in the in the workplace in the next hour. You want to make sure you get plenty of time. If you communicate, you'll get a lot more than if you just try to call out and play naive. Okay. Next, I can't seem to get up in the morning to make it to work on time. Well, there's a couple things you can do to solve this problem. Number one, go to bed early. Don't stay up so late playing video games or watching YouTube or whatever. Get more sleep and you will be more rested. Okay. If that's not the case and you just tend to work better at a later time of day, then maybe look for a job or position where you can come in later in the day. There's all sorts of mid shifts like 10 to 6, 10 to 7, 12 to 8s, 4 to 12s. If you just can't wake up in the early in the morning, if you're absolutely the complete opposite of a morning person, that's okay. Then find a position that allows you to work your best. Okay. Worst case scenario, that either of these situations, you might even need to adjust your diet. Maybe there's something you're eating that's not allowing you to rest well or keeping you up too late. So maybe there's something that you can do to help yourself there. Next, the supervisor says, I need to wear a collared shirt every day and I only have two. I get this. I've been there. There's a couple different things that I did that maybe will help you. First of all, talk to the supervisor and let them know, hey, I only have two shirts. Can I have a little bit more time? Maybe the next paycheck, I can go get some more shirts, right? Sometimes employers will even have an allowance. They'll say, hey, we'll actually, we have shirts here that will give you some shirts until you can buy some new ones, or we'll give you $50 to go buy a couple of shirts. Each employer is different, so that's always not always typical, but it is an opportunity for you to at least communicate and let them know. Worst case scenario, you're going to get really good at doing laundry and just be prepared to have to wash your shirts every 2 days so you can show up to work. Do not show up to work wearing a dirty shirt. It doesn't matter if you're working at a entry level job like McDonald's, like cooking in the kitchen, or if you're working in the corporate world wearing a shirt and tie. If you show up wearing a dirty shirt, you're likely to be sent home, and at that point they might even consider more severe disciplinary actions if you're not able to adhere to their dressing code. My supervisor asked me to run a machine, but I'm not sure how to do it. Whoa, yeah, definitely. Let's not hop on a machine that you don't know what you're doing with, right? If you work in any sort of factory or logistical or warehouse situation, there's lots of machinery around. Ask for more training. Communicate that you do not know how to do that safely. Okay, no supervisor is going to put you in a situation that they don't think that you can do it. You would hope, that's the hope. So always communicate, ask for more training, ask for a review, ask if you can shadow somebody. Just make sure that you ask for more. All right. Last but not least, probably my favorite, my girlfriend or boyfriend wants me to call him or her when I'm at work. No, this is just not professional. Right. You can call him or her on your breaks, on your lunch break, what have you. But do not ever take a personal phone call when you're out working, right? Whether you're working in retail or on the sales floor, helping customers find, Blu-rays and TVs, or if you're working in a warehouse and you're supposed to be picking orders, do not take phone calls, right? This is so unprofessional, and it's probably again going to possibly count your job. All right, next we got a chart up on the window, you guys, and there are, I want to say it's 12 different scenarios here in which people have called out. These are all real excuses. There's no exaggeration here, but I want you to review these for the next few seconds. All right, I want you to think about these different scenarios that these people were in, and I want you to ask yourself two questions. One, when is this the best excuse to call out of work? And what's the worst excuse to call out of work? and let's just say like the morning off. Let's imagine it's like 7 o'clock. You're supposed to start work at 8, and you call into your supervisor and you give him the best excuse to call out of work, and then you give him the worst excuse. What do you guys think that is? I'll give you a second to look at it. Don't answer me because this is a recording. That'll be silly, but just think about it, okay? This is why. All right, so you should tell that all those more or less got colored in. And so you see that this matrix has been broken down into 3 colors: green, yellow, red. The green, these are the reasons that it's acceptable to miss work. Okay. I'm sick. I have bronchitis. I have something. I have COVID-19, whatever it might be. Yes, definitely stay home. All right. 2, I had a car accident on the way to work. That's terrible, and it does happen. So yes, go deal with that. You probably got to get the car towed. You got to maybe get a rental car. Maybe you got to figure out if you got to borrow a car. Hopefully you weren't hurt, but if you were injured, you got to get to the hospital. Definitely don't be trying to show up to work fresh from the emergency room with a concussion. You're not doing yourself or the employer any favors. Or 3, and this is probably the most best and strongest here, there's been a death in the family. Yes, if you lost a loved one, please take time to be with your family, take time to mourn. At that point, yes, without a doubt, call out of work. Now, the ones in yellow are the ones that are reasons that might be acceptable once, but definitely not more than one. No more than that, right? We'll get that in a second. Let's go straight to the bad stuff, right? First off, I have a headache and I don't feel like coming in. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Don't ever call out of work because you got a headache. Now, I do know some people have extreme migraines. I get it. However, it's one of those things you need to communicate with your employer that, hey, I am a victim of extreme migraines. I may have to call out every now and then. Yeah, they need to have a backup plan. They need to have that information. 2, I have to babysit my sister's children. No, they're not your kids. You shouldn't be caring for them. I know that maybe they live with you. I get that, but your sister should have some sort of backup plan to do that. It should not be you, and it should not afford you your money and or your job. I had a fight with my spouse, and now I'm too angry to work. Yeah, it does happen. At one point in your life, you're going to have a significant other, and you might find yourself in an argument, but that's still not a good enough reason for you to not show up for work. You got to still show up for work. If you don't show up for work, you're probably not going to have anywhere to work anymore. Cool. Next, I have a meeting with my lawyer. Again, sounds very official, very formal. However, if you call at 7 o'clock in the morning for your 8 o'clock shift that you have a meeting with your lawyer that day, chances are you either knew about the appointment and didn't tell anybody, or you made the appointment knowing that you had to work and you think it's a good reason to not show up. It's not. Okay. Next one, I need to get a new pair of glasses today. No, unless you're completely blind without your glasses and they literally broke last night or on your way to work, there's no reason to call out of work for this reason. If there's glasses that you can live without and you can make an appointment to go see an eye doctor when your schedule allows it, then you need to do that. Don't call out of work just because your reading glasses broke or something like that. Okay. I have I had to visit my sick friend. This is interesting. So again, given the year 2020, obviously, it's hard to go visit sick people, but in the normal world, even this is a situation that you don't want to call out of work. You want to make sure that, you go see your sick friend when you're not working, when your shift's over. So just avoid that. And the last one, I did kind of leave this one last because I know I'm speaking to a very younger crowd. So hopefully this isn't a scenario that you have found yourself in yet or ever. But at one point, you might partake in some adult beverages. And if you ever call out of a job and say, I can't come in because I'm hungover, you might as well quit that job on the spot because they're probably not going to keep you very long. Okay. So don't ever do that without a doubt. Now let's go back to these reasons. They're kind of in the muddled middle. Okay. I like to say that these are acceptable unless every Friday. So these reasons are cool if it happens once in a while, but not every Friday. So let's go through this. First of all, my child's ill and I have to stay at home. Cool. Yeah, definitely take care of your kid, get in the hospital, give some medicine, let them rest. I totally understand that. But every Friday, probably not. Probably not a good reason to miss work every Friday. My car isn't working and I don't have a ride. Okay, again, it happens. Cars are cars, they're machines. Machines break down. Every Friday, probably not a good reason to miss work every single Friday. I sprained my ankle. Okay, that hurts. Go wrap it up. Stay off your leg for a little bit. You need to miss work today. I understand it. But again, every Friday, not a really good reason to miss work. So let's not do that. The next one's my favorite. I ran out of gas. I've heard this excuse more than I ever thought I would when I was a manager and a supervisor. And I've worked in industries from retail to office settings to contractors and swinging hammers. And anytime I've had a person tell me they've run out of gas, they're almost always under the age of 25, so say youthful, and they make themselves look like full. Again, you've run out of gas. Okay, it happens, but it happens every week. Probably not a good sign. Let's not do that, guys. Okay. I'm going to skip one on the go down here, which says this is a religious holiday for me, but no one else apparently. You must follow a religion that no one's ever heard of. Definitely one of these things that, I think most employers will understand. You say, hey, this is a religious holiday for me, and I just need to take some time to reflect and count my blessings and say my prayers. Most employers will understand that if it is a religious holiday, but if every Friday is a religious holiday, probably not going to have a job come next Friday. So keep that in mind. And last but not least, my house was robbed last night. I really hope you guys never have your house robbed every Thursday night going into work on Friday, right? I don't think that happens. So, but yeah, if the one time it does, it's terrible, it's scary, it's unfortunate. Definitely one of those things. Take care of your house, take care of your family. But if you call next Friday and be like, "Man, my house got robbed again," no, as a manager, as a supervisor, as a business owner, I'm not going to believe you. I very likely will not believe you, and I will probably be requesting some sort of proof and or a mugshot of the guy who did it, because he's apparently really good to rob you twice. But nonetheless, these are the good, the bad, and not so great reasons to call out of work. All right, just keep these in mind. There's more than these. There's probably thousands of reasons that you could think of to call out of work, but these are just some of the ones that we picked out. So let's get into conflict and managing conflict. Well, the number one thing to manage conflict is, of course, to stay calm. And to stay calm, you need to be assertive but not aggressive, right? So state your case, but still keep your cool. Pick a good time and place for you and the other person so that you can speak without a big audience, without people amping up and pumping up either one of you, antagonizing either one of you. Don't bring up things from the past that aren't related to this current situation. You want to keep and stick to the facts. Try to avoid getting too much into your feels in this situation. This kind of gets back to number three. Deal only with the current conflict. So maybe there's been past experiences that you had to resolve then. So don't bring up the past experiences that were already resolved. Try to avoid words like always and never. Like you always do this or you never do that. That's very accusatory and it's going to flame the other person's anger. Try to understand both your feelings and the other person's feelings. Do you know what that's called? It's called empathy. So try to be empathetic. Put yourself in their shoes and understand where they're coming from. If possible, have a sense of humor. If you can find something humorous about the situation, if you can find a common reason to laugh, laughter is a great diffuser of anger and can usually release the tension in the room between two people so they can then find some point of common ground. And last but not least, keep things in perspective. Is the problem that you're fighting or having conflict over, is this something that's going to change your life or is it something that you're going to be mad about for the next 10 minutes? Think about things in the grand view of things, the macro view. Is this going to impact my life or does this just make me mad today and come tomorrow it won't matter? So try to keep those kind of things in perspective. Also, at all times, please keep your voice at a nice calm level and maintain a friendly tone. If you need to, deep breathing is a great way to help you calm yourself during a very challenging or tense situation. You want to use I statements, but you want to do this effectively, right? So you want to say things like, I feel frustrated that this project's so far behind schedule, or I get easily annoyed by a lot of distractions. Not you annoy me when you distract me. You don't want to, you want to avoid accusing people. I really want to make an important contribution to this department and I don't. In other words, you're saying like I want to do more, but I just don't feel like what I'm doing is enough. I feel that I'm doing it as effectively as I could. That's a great way to say, like I'm doing as best as I can. If there's a better way, then please tell me, right? That's another way of saying that. So when it comes to conflict management, just be strategic, respectful, and honest because communication is going to be the bottom line. All right, so here's a video I'm going to share with you guys. I'm going to forewarn you, maybe turn down your headphones a little bit. The music is kind of corny. You'll see what I mean. I don't want to give you any spoilers on that, but I'm going to play this video for you. It's just a few minutes long. So here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Congratulations on your new job. While getting a job is a major accomplishment, it is important to work hard to keep your job and to excel at it. To be successful at your job, you need to have the required job skills. However, it is very important that you have and demonstrate a variety of necessary workplace skills, also known as soft skills. Workplace skills are personal qualities, habits, attitudes, and social graces that make individuals good employees and compatible coworkers. These skills, among others, can help you keep a job and excel in any type of work environment. Workplace skills include the ability to communicate on the job. It includes skills like telephone etiquette, having self-control at all times, showing patience, written communication, and more. Maintaining professionalism includes starting work on time, knowing when it is appropriate to visit with coworkers, and dressing appropriately. Solve problems and critical thinking. This includes listening to the other person's point of view, having reasoning skills, and implementing a solution to a problem. Maintain a safe and healthy work environment are things like keeping your work area clean and following health and safety policies and procedures. Demonstrate work ethics and behavior. Includes taking responsibility for your actions, being willing to learn, and being prepared for work. Maintain interpersonal relationships means you actively listen to your boss or coworker and allow others to speak their viewpoint without them feeling threatened by you. Work as a member of a team means asking the boss for your next assignment when you have completed an assigned task, having a positive attitude, and accepting direction. Many businesses determine the job performance of their employees on a regular basis, evaluating workplace skills, attitude, behavior, assignment completion, and ability to perform job duties. By maintaining positive workplace skills, you can greatly improve your chances of succeeding in your career. Here are some tips to do well on your new job. Be on time. Arrive at work on time every day. Complete assignments. Complete your employer's assignments as scheduled with high-quality work. Follow instructions. Follow your employer's instructions carefully and ask questions if you do not understand what you are supposed to be doing. Show initiative by completing your assignments ahead of time and, if needed, helping coworkers complete their tasks. Be positive at work and be happy to take constructive criticism as a learning experience. Finally, you want to be pleasant and polite to customers, coworkers, and supervisors. Thank you for watching. To find more details,
All right, so I'm not going to make you watch any more of the last 30 seconds of that video, but I just want to give a shout out to whoever decided that that music needed to be the background to the video because they deserve a Grammy or something because that was amazing. It was like living inside a 1980s video game, that 8-bit sound. Anyway, hopefully the information that was shared in that video was helpful. Full disclaimer, I didn't pick the video, but the information is very good. And we can always provide you with the link if you want to go back and watch it and or have a day in Sparty to the 8-bit soundtrack all over again. Anyway, let's get into the next category of personal life versus work life. So your personal life includes something where life should be fun, right? You should feel like you are appreciated for who you are. You should be liked by your friends. You should be able to trust your friends. You should be able to live life by your own rules and your personal appearance. Hey, man, that's your decision, right? Do what you want in your own life. However, work is going to be different. Your work life is going to be very different from your personal life. Work is work. Don't expect it to always be fun. Sometimes you're going to just have to put your head down and get the job done. Deal with your personal feelings on your own time. Do not bring that with you to work. Leave that at the door. Remember, you are getting paid to do your job. So do not expect a raise for doing the bare minimum. You will get a raise when you go above and beyond, take initiative, and show that you can actually solve problems and be a leader in many cases. Do your best to fit in. Don't dress too differently. So what this means is, we mentioned it earlier, every company kind of has its own culture and customs. So, if you took on a job that is like a dream job for you, then you likely you're going to fit in with the company and their culture already. However, you find that you're constantly the outsider and that you can't seem to adhere to their dress code requirements, then it might be a short stint for you to be employed there. So keep that in mind. Like, sometimes you have to be willing to buy into what their culture is. Be friendly, but don't expect your coworkers to be your friends, right? That's what your friends are for. Your coworkers are just like you. They're there to do a job. They're there to be professional. They're there to earn a living. Sometimes they need to put the livelihood of themselves ahead so that they can provide for their families. Don't expect them to put their jobs at risk just because you don't want to do the job. If you mess up, ask for help. Everyone does mess up. This is a part of life. This is a part of having a growth mindset, which you've heard me talk about at least a dozen times. So it's one of those things that, if you mess up, ask for help. It's going to show that you're willing to learn from your mistakes. Last but not least, stay out of other people's problems, whether it be with a coworker, with a supervisor, if they have something going on at home. Do your best to keep yourself out of being involved in someone else's problems, because they're just going to tie you down into theirs. Okay, cool. Now, I want you guys to think about a successful person, someone that you admire, that you respect. What kind of qualities do you think helped make them so successful? And don't say it out loud, because you're just listening to this video, but just think about it, reflect upon that, okay? So I have another video here to show you this gentleman named Jeremy Anderson, right? He's amazing, he's intense, but he's kind of, we call him the best youth inspirational speaker that we have. I believe this video was recorded in Baltimore, Maryland, as he's speaking with some of the roughest and toughest high school students in the country, letting them know that they are still cared about and that they do have a purpose. So get your little motivation hat on and watch this video, and we're almost done. So here we go. I'm gonna play this video. 3, 2, 1.
If I could write one book, maybe I could write 2 books, then 3 books, then 4 books. Listen to me, there ain't nothing you can't do. You handle your business, money will come and chase you, but you gotta be the best person you can be so that you can even be trusted with money and wealth. Listen to me, y'all. I had a teacher in 8th grade tell me I wasn't high school material. And I believe that. They actually set my mom down and was like, yo, your son not even gonna make it, so you should just go ahead and wrap it up. I can't legally leave him behind again, but I think you should probably go ahead and just sign him up for this special ed course. My mom was like, nope. And you know what I did? I went into the 9th grade with that mentality, and I failed. I got kicked out of one high school. Then I went to another high school and said, okay, I'm gonna try my 9th grade year one more time. Failed out of that one. Went to the third. I went to 3 different schools just to get my act together in the 9th grade. And I said, man, I'm proving all these people right who don't believe in me. And my mama and a few people who do believe in me, I'm proving them wrong. Let me stop playing my people. Because when I play my people, I'm playing myself. And so some of y'all, you think it's cool to disrupt class. Man, you playing yourself and you playing your people. Because there's people back in the day that got burnt and beat and spit on and dog sick the water hose to get an equal education. And we come to school looking how we look, all clean and fresh, and we think it's a game, but people died for this. So I'm at a place in life now, I'm like, yo, I ain't trying to take back, I'm trying to give back now. Listen to me, y'all, and I started to grow level by level by level by level. And after I finally got my act together in high school, I took summer school courses. Some of y'all about to put the work in. I took summer school, I took night courses, you know what I'm saying? I graduated on time from high school, and I said, shoot, if I could do high school, maybe it's something to this college thing. Let me tell y'all something right now. You going to college. There ain't no if or, don't worry about fast for student loans, you going to college. But you got a program inside your brain, now you going. There can't be no doubt. And so for me, I said, bump it. If I could do high school, shoot, I'm going to college. I did college, got that bachelor's degree in social work. I said, well, shoot, if I could get my bachelor's, maybe I could get my master's. If I could write 1 book, maybe I could write 2 books, then 3 books, then 4 books. Listen to me, there ain't nothing you can't do. And just because your parents might not have planned for you, there is a plan for your life, my friends. But what you gotta know is that you deserve it. The problem with most people is they feel like, man, I don't really deserve it, I made some mistakes, or this all I know. This ain't all you know no more. I talk to so many folk. We've been to every major city in the hood, in the suburbs, all over the country. You know what I'm saying? And we meet a lot of people, they feel like, well, because my mama didn't experience it, my daddy, you can be the first. You can be the first in your family to experience these things. You can be the first in your family to gain it. I think about my 3-year-old daughter now. I'm like, for one, she gonna have scholarships to go to college. And for two, we gonna already have that bread saved up just in case something go wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, me and my wife, we ain't just buy a house, y'all. We built a house. My girl got to choose what type of hardwood floors she wanted, what type of granite counter she wanted. You know what I'm saying? We got to build that in our 30s. My daughter, I promise you, her credit gonna be so fire. You know what I'm saying? She gonna be on a whole nother level because I'm creating a new culture. I'm instilling that in my daughter now. And I'm telling y'all, you can do the same thing. Hey, what's up? I hope you enjoyed today's video.
All right, guys. So hopefully you're probably pumped up after watching that video. I know I am. Like, I'm ready to go out and write a book. Look, Jeremy Anderson is a amazing motivational speaker. He comes from nothing, and he took on the idea again about growth mindset. If you guys have seen the video, the big thing about growth mindset, the easiest way to explain it, it's when you tell yourself that you can't do something, and that's when you have a fixed mindset, like, I can't do this. But once you take on a growth mindset, you're going to go from I can't do this to I cannot do this yet, which means that you are willing to learn and willing to grow and willing to push yourself so that you can take on new knowledge, right? And that's really where Jeremy Anderson comes from. He adapted and took on, or adopted and took on this growth mindset, and he blew up with it. And that's what you guys probably need to do in your own heads. It's hard when you're 16, 17, 18, 19 years old and figuring it out. But if you put some trust in yourself and you're willing to put yourself out there and be humble, but also be hungry at the same time, you will definitely grow. I promise you. Jeremy here on the screen promises you. I've never met him, but I feel like, I'd be honored to just, share a stage with a guy like that. Anyway, hopefully your thoughts after watching that video, I hope that you're inspired, and I hope that you have taken away that you can be the best person as long as you choose to be that person. Okay. So let's get and move on, guys. Quick wrap up. We talked about problem solving, why it's so important for job retention, talk about knowing your job skills, making some backup plans for future events, how to deal with conflict in a positive way, understanding the difference between work and personal life. Or for those of you watching the video, we're not going to assign you the journal thing. I believe there's a journal assignment. Feel free to do so, but I didn't really cover that here in this workshop. All right, guys. Well, this is it for me. I hope you guys have a great day. Remember, questions are the path to learning. Thank you so much for your time and cooperation, and I'll catch you next time. See ya.